Oh, guys, this is going to be good. Okay, hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of The Nonsense Show, where we dig into the really hard-hitting news and we take the firmest stance on the planet. Quite the contrary, actually. You know what? There's enough stuff out there designed to scare you or piss you off. This is designed to do neither of those things. Come hang out. We'll have a good time, okay? We're just gonna hang out, kick back, and laugh a little bit. All right, so what are we gonna talk about on this episode of The Nonsense Show? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Leading off today, we're gonna be talking about detrimental dating. How dating apps are ruining the dating world. Let's go ahead and hop right on into it. Detrimental dating. Are dating apps bad for your mental health? I don't know. What would ever give you the idea that hooking up with multiple people with absolutely no commitment would ever be a bad idea? You know, why would just going cavalierly from relationship to relationship and creating strong emotional ties with somebody and then breaking them rapidly, why would that cause any harm to your mental health? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that just makes sense. You know, it's fun for a while, I'm sure. I personally don't use dating apps, really. I've never used a dating app. I've never met anybody on a dating app. It doesn't have anything to do with my a personal belief on dating apps. I don't care personally. I just have never used one. I've never used one. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to take their word for it. But let's go ahead and look in the article. This is an article from the New York Post by a woman named Brooke Steinberg. Dating apps are detrimental. Make it harder to find love. Study shows. Okay, or study. I don't know. It doesn't say study shows. Okay, here we go. A new study suggests people should swipe left on dating apps. Research published in the journal Telematics and Informatics found that dating apps could do more harm than good in people's search for love. The findings from the University of Vienna showed that more usage of dating apps and exposure to a superfluous amount of profiles can lead to feelings of self-doubt, that excessive swiping is compulsive behavior. What? I feel like that sentence doesn't make sense. Let me read this all the way through, but this sentence just doesn't seem correct grammatically to me. But let's see. Let me try it again. The findings from the University of Vienna showed that more usage of dating apps and exposure to a superfluous amount of profiles can lead to feelings of self-doubt, that excessive swiping is compulsive behavior. Something feels like it's missing there. Am I wrong? Okay, so I feel like it should read, the findings from the University of Vienna showed that more usage of dating apps and exposure to a superfluous amount of profiles can lead to feelings of self-doubt and feelings that excessive swiping is compulsive behavior, right? Right? You know, or lead to feelings of compulsive behavior or one that has compulsive behavior. This is confusing. Anyway, let's continue. Excessive swiping seems by and large detrimental, they concluded. Fucking yeah. Yeah. Okay. Excessive swiping seems by and large detrimental, they concluded. Researchers surveyed 464 people between the ages of 16 and 25 to test potential undesired outcomes from using apps. Participants were surveyed on how often they use dating apps, if they participate in excessive swiping, and how they decide whether to swipe left or right on a person. They agreed or disagreed with statements such as, I just have to keep swiping. There's no other way. I often think about swiping when I'm doing something else, and I would miss not being able to swipe anymore. Participants were also asked about their feelings toward being single, if they compare themselves to others, and if they become overwhelmed when looking at dating profiles, with agree-disagree statements that include, others are more popular than me. I feel anxious when I think about being single forever. And I feel that I see so many potential partners on dating apps that I can barely process the information. They were also questioned on whether they swiped in locomotion mode, basing their swipes on gut feeling or first impressions, or assessment mode, basing decisions on information provided in the profile and self-defined criteria. Many app users admitted they rarely go on in-person dates with people they match with, or even resist messaging them, which keeps the dating process completely online and has a lack of actual communication. The study found that using dating apps moderately has no effect on the three emotional factors. However, researchers believe that more swiping, apps, and profiles do more harm than good. Okay, they've said that several times already. So pretty much it just becomes an addiction. It becomes an addiction is what this is saying. And yeah, I can see that. I can see how that's possible. It's just like anything else. It's moderation, guys. It's moderation. You don't want to spend all your time on these apps. You don't want to spend all your time looking for love. Get off these apps. Get off these apps. Go find somebody. Go out into the world. There's something to be said for meeting somebody in person. Women, I know the landscape can maybe be a little different for you. I know maybe going out and meeting a guy in public can be dangerous or feel unsafe. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm saying something that's just sexist and I don't even know it. I'm sure that there are people that will argue the point on either side. So whatever. Do whatever the hell you want to do. So it is what it is, man. I don't see how excessively depending on your on other people as a source of your happiness can lead to anything else but like depression. And that's kind of what this is. That feeling of when you first meet somebody it's the greatest. It's like, yes, this is awesome. That honeymoon phase is addictive. So I don't really think it's the app. It's like that idea of this constant honeymoon phase, but then, what do? You're just living in this fantasy land because it's called a honeymoon phase for a reason. It doesn't last forever. So when it comes crashing down, it leaves you in an even worse position. And it's like you're a drug addict looking for your next fix. So, yeah, I don't know. But, and it's kind of a fear of more options or fear of missing out kind of situation going on, it seems. That's what it appears to me as people are afraid of missing out. And what happens in this situation is you dehumanize the person on the other end of this app and they become something akin to a mannequin in a store that you're just gazing at. Not an actual person, just an object to be acquired. So, that's just kind of my take on dating apps in general. Nonsense. How much nonsense do I find this to be? This is actually this is kind of a low level of nonsense. I'm gonna give this a solid 2. Why? Okay, this is actually helpful information. I feel this is kind of helpful. In my opinion, I feel like this is something that is maybe a little bit obvious that you wouldn't really want to spend all of your time doing. But then again, compulsion has that's the whole thing about compulsion is the feeling of choice is seemingly removed from the equation. So, I understand that. But yeah, maybe this will help somebody to actually say, hey, you know what? I thought that I had a problem, but I thought it was stupid because it's a dating app. But, yeah, maybe I actually do have some kind of issue that I need to address. So, yeah, no, this is, I don't know. So I'd say like a solid 2. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's still about a dating app. And really, who gives a shit? That's all. That's all I'm saying. All right. Onward and forward. Next, we have an article from the Dear Abby column, which I'm personally not familiar with, about a woman who does not allow unmarried guests to sleep in the same bed in her room. Oh, guys, this is going to be good. Skadoosh. All right, so this is a column called Dear Abby. It's a lot like Quora or something like that, where you ask a question and she answers back. She gives her insight on the situation. We're gonna go ahead and get into this. This was in my newsfeed. Clearly important. Let's go ahead and share it. I'm gonna share it with you, okay? Because this is you can't miss this. This is essential information you need for your life. Let's get into it. I don't want unmarried couples sleeping in the same room in my house. Dear Abby, I've known Gigi since 2nd grade. We've stayed in touch through the years, although more sporadically in the last 2 decades. Until 10 years ago, she would spend a week with us in the summer. She came 3 different times, and we had fun. We also visited her twice in California. I was married, but without kids then. Shortly after our first child was born, she started dating, and then living with her boyfriend. I'm happy that she's happy with him. Soon after they began dating, Gigi asked about coming to visit, and I agreed, but said they would need to sleep in separate rooms at my house. She said yes, and I don't think she was surprised because she's known me for so long. However, the plans didn't work out. His schedule, she said. And they didn't come. That was 5 years ago. We were recently on the phone, and she asked about coming out. I told her I was glad to meet her boyfriend at last, and we set a date. Neither of us mentioned the sleeping arrangements, but I feel maybe I need to clarify again. I do not judge her, but I have made a decision that in my home, I should never have to feel uncomfortable. Their sharing the same room would make me uncomfortable. During the conversation 5 years ago, I told Gigi that if sleeping separately made them uncomfortable, we could see each other during the day and they could arrange to stay in a hotel or another friend's home. She hasn't mentioned her plans this time around. But right now, it sounds like they intend to stay here. What should I do? Signed, House Rules in Utah. All right, well, riveting stuff. Truly riveting to the bone. Let's see. Dear Rules. Okay. Because Gigi and her boyfriend sharing a bedroom in your house would still make you uncomfortable, call her and explain that although they are welcome, your feelings on the subject of sleeping arrangements haven't changed. This is not a discussion you should have upon their arrival. You know? You get there, now you can't stay here. That's about as far as I'm going to go into this. Yeah, I mean, that... Why? You know what I'm saying? Great. That's good for you. You don't want people sleeping together in your bed or in your house. For some reason, that makes you uncomfortable. Hey, that's cool, man. I think that you know that that's a little weird. Otherwise, you wouldn't really feel the need to be validated about it. Do you know what I mean? That's I don't know. Why does it make you uncomfortable? Like they're not just going to be having sex, you know? Well, why don't you say, look, just don't, no funny business. That's it. Just don't hook up. Okay. It's gross. I don't want to hear it. And that's it. That's it. Just that's it. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I think that's reasonable. You know, I don't want to hear anybody having sex. I don't want to. I'm good. Thanks. Like I get it's natural. That's cool. Fine. But unless I'm like actively involved in the situation, I'm good. You know, I'm good. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's creepy. So yeah. I think she knows that it's a little weird to kind of take it to that next level. Be reasonable. You know, they're dating. It's you know, this is not Puritan America. In 1920. So I don't even know if that's a thing. I just made that up. So let's modernize things a little bit. I'm gonna go crazy. Okay, I gotta go crazy. We don't have to have orgies down in the living room. You know, but let them share a bed. Nonsense. This is a solid 4. What does this do for anything? This does nothing for me. Reading this actually numbed my brain. Need I say more? Tally ho. Next, we're gonna talk about marijuana. Okay, we're gonna talk about the legalization of marijuana, particularly in Missouri. I should go ahead and hang out over here. Now, this particular article is by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and it says Neiman Now that weed is legal in Missouri, will noxious smells and car crashes be far behind? The issue that I take with this immediately right off the bat, there's just so many. I mean, I haven't even gotten into the article yet. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's slide on into it. Neiman, now that weed is legal in Missouri, will noxious smells and car crashes be far behind? Marijuana stinks. That's a fact. It smells. It's odoriferous. It reeks. It's malodorous. It is foul, nasty, rank, and noxious. Now that recreational use cannabis is legal in Missouri, we are going to be subjected to its stench in a lot more places and a lot more often. This is already a problem in cities and states where weed has been legal. The aroma of burning marijuana is jokingly called the state perfume of Colorado, one of the first states to legalize it. Residents of New York City and Seattle and Denver all say they can't go anywhere without smelling it. A story in the Washington Post notes that 57% of DC residents say they smell pot at least once a month. And most of them are not particularly upset by it. 45% say the aroma does not bother them at all, while 17% say it does not bother them too much. That leaves 38%. Or as the story puts it, fewer than 4 in 10 respondents. 38% of people who are subjected to the odor at least once a month actively object to it, and yet there's nothing they can do about it. To that point, a different story in the Washington Post told of a suit filed by a woman against her downstairs neighbor who lights up apparently all the time. The smell, she says, keeps her from sleeping. She sometimes feels as if she can't breathe, and it's interfering with her ability to enjoy her retirement, she claims. According to her suit, she asked the toker to refrain from smoking inside the duplex. He declined to do so, so she asked his landlord to evict him. Get him out of here. He's fucking smoking weed. Get him out now! The landlord also declined to do so, so she filed the suit against the neighbor and the landlord, claiming the smell is a public nuisance. It's a public nuisance. The woman incidentally owns her own apartment, has lived there for 30 years, and has no intention of moving. Oh, man. Okay. I was going to stop with this pretentious son of a bitch. Listen to this fucking guy. Okay, listen to this fucking guy. Listen to him. Okay. Hold on. Listen to this fucking guy. The obvious answer is for the legal user of marijuana to be a good neighbor and a good person and use a vaporizer or such edible forms of the drug, which have no smell. But some folks, I suppose, are traditionalists. How are you going to tell this person how to do something, bro? What the fuck do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? So every time this lady takes a shit, right, and that smell makes its way to wherever, what is she supposed to do? What is she supposed to do about the smell of her shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that that's kind of a biological imperative. You have to do that, but really, come on, man. Like, really? You're going to really be nitpicky about something like that? I mean, dude, is it really that serious? Is it really that serious? How does it keep you from sleeping at night? I just don't understand, And the expectation is incredible to me. Like, okay, maybe there should be some kind of consideration there. Maybe something should happen. But to just say that in order to be a good neighbor and a good person, it is essential that this person stops a course of action that really it harms no one. It just inconveniences this person because they don't like it. So this person has to stop doing something they like because this person doesn't like it. That's the shit that I just don't understand. You know what I mean? It's like, so now you're totally happy, but like, I'm maybe I don't like the way vaporizers make me feel. It's not all the same, but to you, in your opinion, I'm an asshole because I refuse to use vaporizers or eat it or something. What are you talking about? Maybe the smoking the flower allows the amount of high that's felt. You know what I'm saying? Why doesn't she just maybe crack a window or something? I just have a hard time believing that smoke is so pervasive in any of these places that you walk outside and it's just a fucking cloud of noxious gas. If you want to really complain about quality of air, why don't you start with California? How about we do that? Let's go ahead and handle the actual shit that's killing people and causing real problems. Then we can take care of the stuff that smells interesting that 4 out of 10 people have a problem with. Or I should say that 6 out of 10 people just don't give a fuck about. So, you know, I mean, you're over here griping about some dumb shit, you know, about this smell because you don't like it. Because you don't like it and you feel like, oh, God, I shouldn't have to fucking deal with it. Bro, come on, man. You chill the hell out a little bit. It's pot. All right, this is a fucking win for everybody. Let's take the fucking victory, all right? Calm down. Nonsense, fucking 5 out of 5. This fucking guy is just a clown. What is his problem? I don't understand. Like, you're upset because it smells like weed? Are you kidding me? You just seem like the type of person that would pick an argument for no reason. If the bill for weed was not passed, you'd be writing an article about how you wish the streets of America were filled with the scent of marijuana to represent the freedom of America and how it's being fucking trampled on because the common man can't go out and smoke marijuana whenever he wants. So shut the fuck up. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just chill out. All right. We're going to move on to the second piece here because I told you this is a two-prong attack. All right, so we got that 5 out of 5, solid 5 out of 5. Nonsense, total bullshit. This guy is fuck, dude. What are you complaining about? Seriously, you got this. This is where you're going to make your stand. This is the hill you're going to die on. And to me, I'm thinking weed has not been legal long, but at the same time, people have been smoking it forever. So I just don't see why there'd be more car crashes now, I read an article actually not too long ago that what people were talking about. There was something about a DoorDasher brought weed or put weed in a bag accidentally and delivered it to a house. And the writer was like implying that he's like, oh, well, now that weed is legal, or is there going to be more stuff like this happening? And I'm thinking to myself, dude, that has nothing to do with weed being legal or illegal. That dude's just a dumbass. It's got nothing to do with the legality of marijuana that this person put that in there. He would have had weed anyway. He smokes weed. You know what I'm saying? How it ended up in the bag is the real issue here, not where the source is. Because he would have had it regardless, So I don't know, I don't know. All I know is this. I don't know many people that are first-time smokers just because weed is recreational now. That's what I'm getting at here. So how much is actually going to change? We'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on here. Part 2 of this two-prong attack, we're going to talk about, shit, I keep doing that. So this is an article from the New York Times, not from Missouri, though. This is not Missouri, obviously. New York Times. Nausea, wobbling, confusion. Dogs are getting sick from discarded weed. In places where recreational use is legal, smokers are tossing the remains of joints in the street. Dogs are eating them and getting sick in increasing numbers. Veterinarians and poison control centers say. I'm already feeling very heavily toward this. Let's give it a shot. Okay. By Christine Chong. Okay. Last weekend, Lola Star's dog, Dazzle, a mini golden doodle just shy of 2 years old, ate a joint she found on the ground in Staten Island. It wasn't the first or even the 10th time the dog had done this, Mrs. Starr said with the prolonged sigh. She had not seen it happen, but there was a telltale sign. I was taking her out of the car, and I saw her little head bubble. Miss Starr, who lives in the Prospect Park South neighborhood of Brooklyn, said, "That's when you know your dog is stoned." Her dog is not the only unwitting weed consumer. Now that marijuana is widely available in New York City, after the city legalized adult recreational use of the drug in 2021 and the first legal dispensary opened in December, veterinarians are saying they've recently noticed a steady increase in the number of cases of dogs accidentally eating cannabis. And pet owners say their dogs are running into more discarded cannabis on streets and sidewalks during walks. Veterinarians who used to see a case once a month now say they see several a week. Though most dogs recover, the symptoms can be scary. Loss of balance and difficulty walking, nausea, sleepiness, even hallucinations. And some owners do not see right away when their dogs eat a small remnant of a joint while out on a walk. Though dog owners are used to having to steer nosy pets away from trash, food, and other dangers on the sidewalk, the weed is a new risk that's suddenly everywhere, Miss Starr said. And so dogs like Dazzle get sick again and again. Ugh. Okay, it's always been a little bit of a problem, but as of late, we are seeing a rise in cases now that marijuana has been legalized here. In New York, said Dr. Gabrielle Faddle, director of primary care at Bond Vet, which has offices throughout the East Coast. There are no precise figures about the numbers of dogs picking it up on the street, but the data show they are getting sick from weed, and more often in places where recreational use is legal. I'm just going to go ahead and stop reading this, because I think this is just so stupid. Okay, listen, again. Now, there might be more weed, right, out there on the street, okay? No, I'm sure it's more available. Okay, maybe I said something different, but it is more available now. Hold on, let me get this out here. People have it more. There's more of it. Maybe, people are throwing it on the street, whatever. Here's my thing. I can't control what other people do. I can control what I do. And I can control what my dog eats. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm walking my dog and I see them kind of darting over to something, like looking to sniff something, I'm going to check it out, especially if there was some kind of negative after effect the previous 9 times that it happened. The fuck are you even talking about? I can see the first maybe 2 times it being on the person that smoked the weed, but the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th time, why don't you pay some more attention to what your pet is doing instead of just being like, oh, these people that smoke marijuana, they suck. They suck and they throw their buds everywhere. People have been littering forever. This is not new. I don't know what to say. What about a cigarette butt? You think a dog would feel any better if it ate a cigarette butt? There's actual poison in that. So what are you talking about? And people flick those constantly. You want to tell me that people don't flick cigarette butts? Watch your dog. I taking my dogs for a walk, and I got 2 of them. So I have to, I got to watch them. But if you watch them and you train them well enough, they usually will just stay away from that stuff. If I were to put weed in front of my dog, I know they wouldn't eat it. I just, why would they, So, yeah, I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe her dog's stupid. I don't know what it is. But just watch your dog, man. Are the people throwing weed on the ground inconsiderate? Yeah, I guess, but I can't really see somebody wasting a ton of weed, so I can't imagine how much it's going to be in there. And does your dog just like to eat weed? Does it just like to eat weed? Does it eat cigarettes too? Does it like to go and try to chew beer bottles? Condom wrappers? What else does it eat? Is it a goat? So anyway, I don't know, man. Just watch your dog. That's all. That's all you got to do. Watch your dog. All right, moving on. No, you know what? Nonsense. Nonsense meter. Okay. I'm gonna give this one like a 4. Okay, I'm gonna give this one a 4 because again, this is useful in the sense that it can provide somebody with maybe something. Oh, hey, that's kind of important. Maybe I don't want my dog eating the marijuana, but trying to flip the responsibility or, remove any responsibility from the person that's actually walking the dog is crazy to me. And then on top of that, making it seem like it's this fatal, terrible thing when it happens. Like literally your dog is just high. And I mean, it says that in this. Now, obviously, it's not something I would want to happen, on a regular basis or something that I would encourage. I wouldn't feed my dog like weed or nothing like that. But they're making it seem like dogs are dying from this left and right. And I mean, literally, at the end of the article, it says, "Don't worry, most dogs recover." And you know what I didn't see in here anywhere was a death count, not one, which is awesome. That's great. I'm glad to hear that dogs are not dying, but don't make it seem like they are, okay? Because it's kind of fucked. So, four. Thanks for the info, but you're rage baiting me. And I don't like that word. Thanks for the info, but you're trying to piss me off, and you're greatly exaggerating the seriousness of the situation. So, 4. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to a gentleman, a preschool teacher who apparently attacked innocents. Let's see what that means. Now, as I stated earlier and in previous episodes, this is the nonsense show, okay? I didn't really take anything super seriously here. I know it maybe come off sometimes in a certain type of way. Most of this stuff really, it is what it is, man. I'm not, like I said, I'm not crusading for any of it. It is what it is. Having said that, I think there are lines that people just shouldn't cross, and I think we're